a gentle yet brutal takedown of Cory Booker. There's something we in evangelical Christian circles refer to as speaking truth wrapped in grace. It's difficult to do sometimes, particularly in the face of rampant lies or rhetorical abuse, such as what's going on in the New York City mayor's race, or with the assassination culture the left has installed, or with what Gavin Newsom says on a daily basis about President Trump, or what the Mockingbird media says about Trump supporters. It's a difficult thing to do, and it got done. A guy got to go testify in Congress, and he did this so well, and he did it in a way that he took Cory Booker apart with a gentle takedown, but in brutal form. Brutal because he spoke truth, gentle because he did it with grace. And this is something we're going to have to get very, very good at. This guy Mamdani is probably going to be mayor of New York. He is the son of an absolutely radical Islamist who hates America and has admitted it, has bragged about it, that it's a great evil. It must be taken apart. Mamdani has functionally never held a job. You know the story behind this guy. Mamdani is now out bragging about how everything's going to be free, and I think he means it. And the Democrats are lining up behind this guy because they have to, because it's the politics of personal attraction. People see in this guy whatever they want to see. I think it's satanic purely. I think that Satan has wrapped his arms around this guy and has clasped a cloak of deception around him. To me, he's obviously incompetent. To me, he's obviously craven. To me, he's obviously here to destroy America. And he gets to go out and say things like this.
I think the major threat is Donald Trump. And I think that in a fiscal sense, he wakes up every morning, he makes a different threat. One of those threats is to withhold funding from the city. He's already done it a number of times under Adams. He looked to withhold about $18 billion in infrastructure grants, in large part in an attempt of political retribution for the shutdown. And the city has about 8-9% of its budget from federal funding.
So the major threat is President Trump withholding funds, not a mayor who has bragged about wanting to disarm Americans, not a mayor who wants to disarm and dismantle the police force, not a mayor who says he sees no reason for prisons, no reasons for jails. He's one example. This is another example. This went around Twitter and it got tens and tens of thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands of views, and then came the correction. ICE detained a young boy riding his bicycle with his friends when an ICE vehicle drove right into him. So they jumped on him, jumped out of their vehicles and in Deerfield Beach, Florida, and snatched him up. They then want to try to keep him from talking about what they did. Again, tens of thousands of views, but here's what actually happened.
ICE arrestó hoy 19 de octubre.
He hits the kid's bike because the kid wouldn't get out of the way. And on top of him, arresting him. And it's very, very difficult to see, very difficult to watch. And the voiceover is accusing this of being ICE, and there comes Community Notes into the scene. Disturbing though it may be, the video of an officer driving into a young boy and tackling him to the ground is from April 2025. It's entirely unrelated to any federal or ICE-related operations. Police were responding to reports of reckless behavior and unlawful activity. And I would say that if I was a cop and was put in a position where I was just about hit a little boy at a bike, I might be mad too. And the officer did look angry. See, we need to be able to speak truth and grace into things like this because we're in a rhetorical war. Thank God we're not in a real war. People who've been in real wars don't necessarily want to go back to them. My friend Tim Cruikshank, founder and CEO of Bone Frog Coffee, has been in war 3 times on our behalf as a medic attached to the SEAL teams. He came back and invented Bone Frog Coffee with a partnership with a guy who started Seattle's best coffee, Dave Stewart. So the coffee is legend stuff in the making. And each bag says God Country Team. 10% of proceeds goes to the families of fallen Navy SEALs. Go to bonefrogcoffee.com/Todd and subscribe today. Bonefrogcoffee.com/Todd. Use promo code Todd at checkout to save 15% on subscription coffee. It's bonefrogcoffee.com/Todd. Michael Knowles with the Daily Wire went and did an enormously great job of speaking truth wrapped in grace, and he did a brutal and yet gentle takedown of Cory Booker.
I think Senator Booker made a good point just a moment ago when he said we have to self-examine, we have to be introspective. And, I can't help but think of a line today. Jay Jones has the vision, commitment, and integrity to keep families safe. and make sure every Virginian gets a fair shake in the justice system. I'll be working every day to ensure Jay wins this race. That's the endorsement of Senator Booker for a man who would seek to be the Attorney General of Virginia. This is a man who, if people have not been reading the news, has called for a Republican to be murdered, for his children to be murdered, for the children to die in their mother's arms in order to persuade the Republican to change his policy views, and a man who says that he would urinate on the graves of multiple Republicans. Senator Booker, in this spirit of introspection, is standing by this endorsement. So I suppose I would invite, well,
This is so good.
perhaps I should have looked, because Senator Booker has left the room, and I think I can guess why.
I think you guessed why accurately, Michael Knowles. Beautiful, beautiful job of having at his hands a quote from Cory Booker, who pretends it's Republicans who need to reduce the volume of our rhetoric and our words, when in fact it's Booker and his cohorts who are leading the assassination culture and the deletion cultures. And I mean deleting people's lives, not just their words. Michael did that gracefully, the same way we're taught to do that. Truth wrapped in grace. Well done, Michael Knowles.